Thank you for watching The Guy Dawson Show at WCOBM.com, the World Center of Broadcast Media. I'm here with my co-host, the illustrious Quan.
How you like my new look?
I did not tell you how smart. You're the smartest person in the room.
Look, right?
Well, I don't know. I think you are the smartest person. Well, you're definitely smarter than me. I don't know about the two of them.
Oh, wow.
They're smart. They can punch. So make sure. My smart is make sure who make me angry, I'm going to ask help from the pro boxer.
Yeah. Well, you got bodyguards in the studio today.
Yeah.
We have Khalid Washington and Jeff Bagsby. They are with Man Down Boxing Inc. and we've been talking about the heyday of boxing and some of Khalid's experiences, as well as Jeff's experiences, channeling his athletic talent into boxing. And you train a lot of fighters now, Khalid. What got you into training? I know a lot of people start to train after they get done with their boxing careers.
Yes, not all of them, because a lot of them look horrible. I'm not, out of shape. Let's be brutally honest about it. What actually got me on the flip side of it, because I always been a trainer, because I always trained myself too. So I said, people started saying, Khalid, you can train the fighters too. You can condition the guys, get them right. You can spiritually get them right. So it's like you're doing the mental aspect and then you're doing the physical aspect. You can put it all in one. And I kind of pretty much overlooked it for like a year or two. Then 10 years ago, I just said, okay, let me turn it up. Remember the first Lethal Weapon movie? Mm-hmm. And remember the time when the guy, Mel Gibson, kept picking with Joshua, those gangsters? Mm-hmm. And what did the guy say? He said, you know what, Joshua, come in. It's time to turn the heat up now. Because they kept picking. The cops kept picking and picking. So those guys said, you know what, Joshua, come on into the office because it's time to turn up the heat. And that's when they started going after Mel Gibson and Danny Glover in the movie, in the first Lethal Weapon, when they kidnapped the daughter and stuff like that, because they started getting upset. So I'm using that same analogy for my boxing thing. I just said, okay, let me stop taking it light and then just turn it up, and there it was. Wow. I want to thank Samson from Samson Boxing. I want to thank Warriors from Warriors Boxing. I want to thank Gary Shore from Gary Shore Promotions. I want to thank Lou DeBella from Lou DeBella Entertainment. I want to thank the MGM Grand. I want to thank the Mandalay Bay. I want to thank Top Rank Boxing. I want to thank Lee Samuels, the CEOs of Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arams. I want to thank my man, Brad Goodman, the matchmaker. I can keep going, man. I've been in the game too long, I want to thank, send love to those guys because they brought me a lot of business.
And as a trainer, now that you're working with lots of boxers, as you had told me when you're off air, what is it that you're looking for in an up-and-coming fighter that would make you want to train?
What I'm looking for the motivation within the fighter himself. You know what I'm saying? Like if he got that fire and I see he got that potential, I'm going to ride with him. You know what they say, if you quit now, then you quit every day for the rest of your life. So don't be a quitter. They say tough times don't last, but tough people do, because the tougher times will always bring the greater blessings. So in order to sometimes be blessed, you got to go through a little suffering to be blessed.
Boxing has really changed. I know that all the numbers are down. I don't know if it's just the UFC that has caused that to happen, but there just doesn't seem to be the interest in boxing that there used to be. I know a lot of especially in the upper weight classes, the heavyweight champions are all in Russia now, and that used to be an American thing.
Well,
what is it? Why has boxing sort of started to not be in the limelight as much as it used to?
I see where you're going now. You try to get me off the rocker. Okay, speaking of, I'm going to answer that for you, sir. Before I continue, I want to send love out to the UFC, to my main man, Mr. Mark Ratner, the commissioner. I was just at one of the fights last week. UFC takes good care of me. Mm-hmm. If I need tickets and stuff like that, they take care of me. So I want to send love out to the UFC. Shouts out to the UFC. Mark Ratner, the commissioner, that went over from the boxing commission to the commissioner of the UFC. Peace, Mark Ratner. I'll see you soon for the next fight with McGregor. But anyway, to answer your question, you know, when you started talking about the 70s from before, when the fights were real back then, you had fights every week. Wild World of Sports, you had ESPN Tuesday night fights, then it went to Wednesday, then it went to Friday night fights. Well, I think that what we need to do to win boxing back over, it's not so much that the UFC is winning because boxing is dying. I feel like you do have some great UFC fighters out there worth watching, so I'm going to say that. Shouts out again to the UFC. But with boxing, it's more like a business now instead of it being like just boxing, where people will just fight for $100 for 10 rounds, like just the love of the sport. And that's what it is, you know. And I think that certain people, well, I'm not going to say it, but certain people need to stop rigging fights, okay, and let fighters get in there and fight. If a certain fighter is looking for a certain fighter and he's calling him out and it's in the same weight division, why not sign the contract? That's going to save boxing. But when we start getting these rigged fights and stuff like that, that cause problematic situations where it's an all-time low in the ratings.
Right, it did
That's
seem
my
like
brutal opinion.
sometimes it would take a while in the past to get the fighters together, but it always happened, and it usually happened in the prime of their careers.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm seeing now is when these fighters get together, and again, I'm not judging, you know, I'm a businessman, I understand, but it seemed like you would fight someone when they were in their prime, you were in your prime.
Exactly.
So what happens now, because of all the maneuvering and things, is these fighters, they get together, neither one of them's in their prime anymore, and you're not getting a chance to see these fighters at their very best. And for me, that's kind of a disappointment because I've always been a big lover of boxing.
Like this, speaking of money, right? See, Floyd was never scared. He was never scared of Pacquiao. It's just, and I love Pacquiao too. He's a friend of mine. Shouts out to my man, his handler that handles his money. He's a good guy out there, you know. Just much love to the Pacquiao camp. I got to send love out to those guys. But the thing is, he was never afraid of Pacquiao. He just wanted to make sure things were right. I know people wanted that fight back when they wanted it 3 or 4 years ago. There's no doubt about it. I think the ratings would have been much more higher than even what it was when they first, when they fought back in May. But you know, it was just all time, and I think that's what it was. But Floyd was definitely not scared of Pacquiao. There's no doubt. He just wanted to make sure things were right. That's all, you know?
Well, I really appreciate both of you stopping by, being a part of my show today. And how can people reach out to you if they are thinking about being a professional boxer, if they want to be trained, or also, Jeff, you also give a plug for your business.
Okay, no problem. They can reach me, you know, they can go on the website, mandownboxing.com. That's mandownboxing.com. Or they can reach me at area code 914-334-9100. And I'm one of the best, if not the best, trainer and nutritionist out there. But like I said, it's not just the physical aspect, but an aspect of me getting you in shape. Is about me mentally getting you right too, because you know they say great minds think alike, right?
All right. Well, thank you all so much for being a part of the Guy Dawson Show this week, and we can't wait to see you next week. We've got interesting guests, lots of fun. The illustrious Quan will be back. Say bye, Quan.
Happy New Year, 新年好，再见。And Jeff,
Happy Chinese New Year.
Oh.